With the pandemic, another thing that's been impacted are relationships. We're spending more time in our homes with people, whether it's a marriage, a partnership, whether it's a roommate situation, where before, Bob goes off to work, Steve goes off to work, Janice goes off to work. Now everybody, or not everybody, but a considerable amount of the population finds themselves shoulder to shoulder with the people that they're sharing a residence with. Sounds like a good thing in theory, but you come across people who are struggling with this new kind of way of operating in their workday and in their kind of day-to-day. And how do you make it so that it's less stressful and it's less frustrating to be sharing space with people almost continuously? One important thing is having empathy for the other person. If I'm working out in the kitchen and my husband's working in the study and he wants to get lunch, if he accidentally stumbles into the kitchen, or if I accidentally stumble into the kitchen when he's on a call, to remember that we're not used to this yet. We're still learning how to acclimate to one another. So for me not to get aggravated with him, for him not to get frustrated with me, scheduling can be very important, particularly if there are kids in the mix. Communication is a big part of that as well. I have a meeting with a hospital that I cannot miss, and there are kids that need to be kind of either watched while they're doing their homeschooling or just sort of kind of kept occupied while I'm on the phone in my meeting. I have to arrange that ahead of time. I can't just assume that my partner or my roommates are going to mind read what my needs are in this circumstance. So, perhaps one of the benefits that might come from this is maybe we will see an improvement in communication because we've had to learn how to communicate better and more effectively through this. I think having a sense of humor is super important in these kinds of situations. If your husband is on his video call and you happen to wander out in your bathrobe behind him, this is not the time to cast blame or get upset or get frustrated. I mean, you may feel that way at first, but step back and think about the humor that you can find in that situation. And then finally, this is not forever, and it's not a fatal situation. We're going, relationships will make it. People will get back to work, get back to kind of their normal life. But to remember that this is not something that's going to be forever. So that helps a lot with acclimating and being resilient in this situation. So to keep your relationships healthy, just communicate really well, give each other a little bit of leeway and a lot of understanding. And I think actually some relationships could come out better in the end because of the improvement in communication.